Well, good evening and welcome. My name is Brian Swanson. I'm the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. We heard, are you serious? We heard Poly Pomona, really? We heard, is this going to happen? We heard, I'll donate and support when I see the polls in the air. Well, tonight, you're living witness to this historic event. Tonight, you're going to see the lights turn on at Scolinos Field for the first time in night baseball in 56 years. Poly Pomona baseball has existed since 1960. We're starting our 56th year. The first 6 years of the program was independent, and in 1967 became a CCA conference sport. Tonight, January 30th, 2016, is the first night game in our history, and it's most fitting that our alumni and current student athletes, our Poly Pomona community and family, are playing the first game. I can't think of anything more representative of Coach Scolinos. This complete renovation and rebuild of the Scolinos Stadium is a four-phase project, but experiencing the success of Phase 1 has energized us to see the next three phases complete. We wouldn't be here today without the support of so many people. President Dr. Soraya Coley, whose student-centered mission is about to be on full display tonight for our current and future generation of Broncos. President Emeritus Dr. Michael Ortiz, whose support moved reality. Acting Vice President Kathy Street, who's been unyielding in her support of student success. Thank you, Kathy. I'd like to thank and recognize one of our newest Broncos, Bedford McIntosh, our Vice President for University Advancement. Thank you, buddy. And our project team, I'd like to recognize who've been working over the last couple years to make this a reality. Jaime Landman, Project Manager from Facilities Planning and Design. Dan Johnson, Campus Planning and Design. Rick Arias from Higginson and Associates Architects. FEC Electric, represented tonight by John Gratzer, the project superintendent. Right here, John, who's been responsible for this. It's been great to work with. Thank you, John. Out here every day. And our baseball coaches and staff, Randy Betton, head coach, Brett Latchman, Jimmy Ramos, Jensen Torres, Stacy Parker, J.J. Franklin, and Paul Bubb, our Director of Athletic Development. I want to thank our lead donor, Danny Andrews, whose commitment has been second to none. And a new scoreboard is coming on February 8th, the first since 1986. Thank you, Charlie Reynoso. And new foul poles that were installed yesterday. If you look out there, they're brand new foul poles that went up while they was having the golf tournament. And Coach Ramos said they were the first new sets since he played here just a couple years ago. And the ability to continue to memorialize Coach John Scolinos with his family here tonight. Violet, Coach's daughter, and John, Coach's nephew. Thank you for being here. John Raymond, thank you for believing in our vision and supporting Coach Scolinos. I want to recognize our alumni, who many participated yesterday in our sold-out golf tournament, our current team, who will be wearing the Broncos green and gold in the near future, and tonight, Poly Pomona's legacy will make history tonight. On behalf of our past, present, and future Broncos, thank you for making history, believing in our mission and our family and our future. Tonight is about family, about tradition and progress. University President Dr. Coley lives this each day, and we're fortunate that right here a year ago, Dr. Coley and her husband threw out the first pitch. Right here, almost a year ago today. Next week will be a year. And little did we know then that that would turn out to be a record-setting 2015 baseball season with 46 wins, the most in program history. So please welcome President Coley, who's here tonight to help us write the next chapter in our historic program. President Coley.
Thank you, Brian. And I just want to take a moment and thank the alums for joining us this evening. I think it's a real testament to the core values and the experiences that students have here at Poly Pomona. So I really want to acknowledge and thank you so much for coming here today to help us meet and pass this milestone in our program. So thank you so much. And I want to also turn to our outstanding baseball team. Many of you were part of last year's very successful play. You took us all the way to my home state of North Carolina, and so we look forward to going back to North Carolina this year. We're going to make it happen. And I want to especially thank Danny Andrews for having the vision and remembering what this experience was like here at Cal Poly Pomona and how important it was to his own development and with Coach Scolinos and the values and the character that was reflected in those interactions with those young men. And Danny has decided to pass it on. So many of us are blessed over the years, but not everyone looks at their blessings in a way that it can be passed on. And so I want to especially thank Danny and his family for instilling those kinds of values and principles and recognizing how important it is that a lot of times you can't help the ones that have made it possible for you. You can't necessarily do for the individuals that have done for you, but what you can do is to take those gifts and that inspiration and pass it on to the next generation. And so through his generosity, that's exactly what will happen tonight. And as mentioned, we're not only, this is just phase one. I am clear that I shouldn't say I'm clear because, we are in a public institution. Things do take time, but I will say that this is not going to be the only phase. This is the first of many phases to really provide the kind of facilities that our athletes in this university and the community and the region deserve. And so he has really thrown down the gauntlet to the rest of us to say, look, give back, make this possible so that we can continue to extend the excellence that represents our program. I want to again recognize Coach Scolinos' daughter as well as his nephew John. I know that Harry was trying to make it, but probably with traffic, he's unable to get here. I want to also acknowledge the parents of Danny, thanking them for joining us today. And I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge my husband, Ron. We so enjoy coming out and participating in the sports programs. And I will say that, they talked about last year my being able to throw out the ball. Well, my husband wanted to make sure that I didn't embarrass him, and so he had me practicing with tennis balls to make sure that I could get it over the line. And I think I fared pretty well last year, and so I've continued to practice, so I'm ready to do it again this year with the start of the season. But again, I want to acknowledge the individuals that have come out, the family members, the friends of our program. I also understand that we have members of the first 1976 championship team here today. If so, will you raise your hand and let us know where they are? Thank you so much. This is really significant to you because you played in very different conditions, but I know that you're proud of what you see here tonight, and thank you so much for being here to encourage our athletes. We have two captains from this year's team with us today, Ryan Weberly and Max Bethel, who are seniors, returning from last year's team that finished an impressive third in the national championship. And Ryan and Max, where are you? Will you raise? Please, come forward. Okay. I want you to just stand here with us. And I want you to know that, again, we're going to take us back to Cary, and we're looking forward to that. The dedication of the lighting today is not the end of our ambitions for baseball here at Cal Poly Pomona. We have more to do, and we will look to every fan of Cal Poly Pomona baseball to help us. As I said before, I always root for the students when they play the alumni. Actually, for a big enough gift, however, I might be persuaded to change my mind. And in fact, given Danny's generosity, I think my first exception happens today. But let's turn our attention to the person who made this day possible for us. Danny, please come join Brian, the coach, and myself.
Again, I'd like to have Danny just say a few words about his gift, and thank you so much for making this happen tonight.
Sure. Thank the university, and good things come with patience. So this is a long project. We're here after 4 or 5 years, and just visualize the next 4 or 5 years, all the improvements that can happen if we all join forces. So have a great game. May the lights work, and have a great evening.
President, will you join me before that? And before Randy and Danny and the President turn on the lights, thank you is not really enough to say, and I think the gift's going to be in what you're going to see here shortly, but we would like to present this to you. Present an appreciation to Danny Andrews for your vision and leadership in the Scolinos Stadium campaign, Phase 1 stadium lighting, dedicated January 30th, 2016. Cal Poly Pomona Athletics, Broncos baseball. Okay, now the moment we've all been waiting for. So, the President, Danny, Coach Benton, and our captains, we're going to go over to, it's not as easy as right here as the button is over there, folks. So we're going to have to slide through there and witness history. Enjoy.